I went through my husband's phone and now I'm divorcing him, so let's get into it. So first I want to preface this by saying that as a wife, if I ever want to look through my husband's phone, I have the full right to do that. And if he wants to look through my phone, he knows my passcode, like he can look through my phone whenever he wants to. But as the wife, if I'm ever feeling insecure or weird, like there are times in our relationship when we're not doing the best, we're really distant, and I feel like I need to do that to gain some clarity and to feel better, I feel like I should be able to do that. So my husband and I have been having a lot of issues for the last few months. We've been super distant, sleeping in separate rooms. We're not having sex, like nothing at all. We're pretty much like roommates. And as a woman, to my women, that gut feeling that you get, our intuition that is so incredibly strong and annoyingly always correct. So I had that the other night. And I recognized it and I went to him and I said, hey, I am feeling a certain way. I'm feeling kind of insecure. I'm having like a bad feeling in my belly and I would like to look through your phone. And he said, okay, you can look through my phone. I said, great. Can you go get it for me? And it was dead and he had to go and get it from his work bag or something and charge it. And all of a sudden he got really, really quiet after he said, yes, I can go through your phone. So after about 5 minutes of silence, I finally ask him again, can you go get your phone? I'm going to put it on the charger and look at it. And he goes, I don't think you should look at my phone. Okay. So he knows that I'm going to find something in there that's upsetting because he said, I don't think it's a good idea. We already haven't been in a good place and you're not going to be happy with what you find. Now I have to see it, okay? Now I absolutely have to see it. So I demand it at this point, and it takes a long time for him to turn it over, but eventually he does, and I go upstairs to the bedroom, I put it on the charger, I lock the door, and I start going through it. So I may not go over everything in detail because it's redundant at this point. It doesn't really matter, but he's going out to the bars with his friends, which I didn't have any problem with him doing, but he's giving out his phone number and telling girls that he's single. And it's interesting, like my husband has like a tattoo of like our initials on his ring finger. So like even when he's not wearing his wedding ring, like it's very, I mean, if you're paying attention, it's pretty obvious that he's a married man. I digress. He's texting women that he's single. He went over to a coworker's house. She doesn't know that he's married, like she's single. He went over to her house and did God knows what. So after finding all of that, one thing that I want to preface this by saying is that, like women, if you're still around, if you are looking through your man's phone, be ready to leave him. You must be ready to leave your man if you're going through his phone, because otherwise, what's the point of even doing it? Just to hurt your feelings? No, if you find something with that gut feeling that you had that is enough to leave that man, you must do it. And because I love myself and respect myself, I'm going to choose not to stay with somebody, even though we've had a really great relationship. He makes me very happy most of the time. I'm going to choose not to stay with someone who treats me that way and who goes off and disrespects me like that after 10 years. So this is going to be very interesting. I've never been married before and I've never divorced anyone, so I have no idea how to divorce someone. So this will be very interesting, learning the process of separating things. But honestly, like, I know that sometimes it's going to be hard, but like this is for the best. And you know what? That's just how I feel today. And tomorrow I might be a total damn wreck. But if you stay this long, thanks. And stay tuned to watch me become shattered and a mess and then happy and then laughing. Like, I have no idea how this is going to go. So wish me luck. I went through my husband's phone and now I'm divorcing him. And this is part 2 of how he reacted when I came downstairs with his phone. First of all, like I want to say the commitment from people for this side of the story, I just find really interesting. Like the fact that people care so much about my story, I just find like really interesting. Like I didn't really think anyone would care about this. So here we go. I would not consider myself a very calm person. When I get angry, calm is not the way that I tend to deal with things. But in this situation, for some reason, I felt very, very calm when I went downstairs to confront him about his phone. I gave him his phone very peacefully and I said, "Thank you so much." And he said, "So how mad are you right now?" I stayed very calm the whole time. I looked right at him and I said, you know what? Not as mad as you might think. And then we kind of started to go into some things. One thing that I did not mention in my first video, because it's kind of personal, but I don't really care about putting him on blast at this point because he embarrassed me, is that my husband has been holding out on smexy time from me for many, many months. And that's another thing that I want to address, because some people in the comments assumed, oh, well, if your roommates living in separate rooms, if you were not having smexy time with him, that no wonder he cheated. First of all, ew. Second of all, I was always open for business. Every single day, all the time, I'm always open for business. He was saying that he didn't want to because he's been having hormone issues lately. So we have not been doing that. And when I went through his phone, I found that he was watching Grwn every single day. So from my experience, he has always done this thing where when he gets in trouble, he doesn't want to feel like he's in trouble like a little kid. So he turns into this very hurtful person, which is another reason why I'm leaving him. So when I confronted him about the Grwn, he laughed in my face and he said, oh yeah, I love Grwn. That's probably never going to stop. And I said, but I have been asking you for smexy time. And he goes, yeah, well, we haven't been talking. We haven't been in a good place, but I love Grwn. And then another jab that he gave me, I think just, again, to hurt my feelings and try to make himself feel bigger and better than me at that point, was when I brought up that, hey, I know that we've been in a bad place, but we're still married. His excuse was, well, listen, you haven't been talking to me. We haven't been in a good place. What do you expect? When I don't get what I need from you, I go to other women for validation. And I said, man, you must be really insecure if when we're not in a great place, you have to seek out validation from other women. And I feel bad for you. So again, he kind of smiled and said, yeah, well, you weren't talking to me and I love getting attention from other women when you don't give me what I need. So that's probably never going to end. I'm probably going to do that for forever. And listen, ladies, as I say all of this stuff out loud, I hope that you ladies get just as irritated for me as I am for myself to be treated that way by somebody that I was married to for 10 years. Nobody deserves that. It's not just me, but nobody deserves to be looked at and said, yeah, I know I did these things. I'm probably going to continue to do them though. So at that point, I knew it was over. He made it very clear that he didn't want to repair that at all. He didn't seem remorseful at all. So I took a deep breath, gave him a big smile, and I said, okay, well, let's get working on filing. I don't really know the process to that, so I need to do a little bit of research, but I'd like to get filed by next month and get all of this stuff sorted out. At this point, you are now single. You want to act like you're single and pretend that you're single. You are now single. You may see, talk to, and do whatever you want, and I am going to do the same, and let's file for divorce next month. And he said, okay. But trust me when I say this story is not over. Now, you see, my mother-in-law was due to be in town 12 hours after this discovery. So when he asked me, he said, Taylor, can you just be chill while my mom's in town? She doesn't need to know anything that's going on. I said, oh no. Oh, no. I'm going to tell your mother everything. And that story, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go through tomorrow. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to set the scene. I just found out that my husband has been unfaithful to me, and his mother was due to come into town to visit him for his birthday 12 hours after I found out. Now, he asked me to be chill during the time that his mother was around and not say anything, and I said, oh no, I will be telling your mother absolutely everything. Here's how it went. So honestly, I thought when I gave him a heads up that I would be telling his mother everything, that he would try to beat me to the punch. He's got a long drive home from the airport to our house. So knowing that I was going to tell his mom, I kind of just assumed that he would tell her on the trip home. Well, that didn't happen. So her and I had been planning this nice dinner that we were going to celebrate his birthday, and we were all going to go, and her and I were planning it on where we were going to go. It was going to be my soon-to-be ex-husband, myself, my son, and her, and we were going to go out to dinner. So she finally gets into the house, and this dinner is supposed to happen, right? And I tell her, I say, hey, I'm going to send you and him to celebrate the birthday on your own. And she goes, why? What do you mean? Like, she was shocked, right? And I just looked over at him and I said, oh, you didn't tell her, did you? She looks at him. He looks at me. I look at her. She looks at me. What's going on? She makes a connection. Something's not right. And I say, okay, well, we should probably talk. And he goes, I don't really think now is the time. Like, this is not a great time. And I said, okay, we can talk later. And then for the whole rest of the weekend, I hung out with my son, my happy place, the entire weekend. And I let them go off and do what they were going to do and have mother-son time. Now, backwards a little bit. When I first found out about my husband's infidelity, the first person I called was my sister-in-law because she's like my best friend and I tell her everything. So I called her. She's pissed for me, okay? I was a little nervous to tell his family because I didn't want to feel like they would pressure me to stay and make it work with him. Well, they didn't do that. She very much had my back and she said, absolutely not. Get the heck out of there. He doesn't deserve you. And you should tell my mother everything and you should tell her when he's around and embarrass him. And I'm like, that sounds good. I'm gonna do that. I had one opportunity to talk to this woman and it was really just because she was busy with him all weekend and I was working all weekend and with my son. So I had one opportunity the morning that she was going to leave. We sat in the kitchen and grabbed a cup of coffee and I looked at her and I said, okay, are you ready to hear what's going on? And she kind of paused and she goes, yep. So I unload. I tell her everything. I leave nothing behind, no details. Even about the corn, I tell her everything. And she just sits there and listens. And let me just say, like, this woman is so kind. She's so kind and so sweet. She would never hurt a fly. So it was hard to tell her because I know that she loves her son and she worries about him. And I think, like, ultimately, the way that I felt in this conversation was that she was worried for her son based on how he was acting. Did I feel like I had her support? No. Honestly, if I'm being frank, I don't really feel like she was thinking about what I had gone through. I think she was thinking about her son, which is fine. Like, that's your son. I get it. But she kind of said something really interesting to me that I kind of like, I don't know, like didn't really like. Now let's take a step back and talk about my son really quick. I have an 11-year-old son. He is not the son of my soon-to-be ex-husband. I have a baby daddy. We were never married, but my soon-to-be ex-husband and I met when my son was a year old. He has been around for my son's entire life. He has seen first words, first steps, all of the things, but unfortunately never showed up as a stepdad. He told me a little bit ago that he didn't love my son. He just never was what my son needed. And so while I've been married and with this man for 10 years, I have been a single mom. My soon-to-be ex-husband does not help me with parenting at all. Like, I have parented that child by myself, and he's my son, so that is my responsibility. But my son comes above everything. My son comes before my soon-to-be ex-husband. He has always been at the forefront and the whole priority of my entire life. I take parenting him very seriously. And my soon-to-be ex-husband does not like that my son comes before him. Listen, I know this video is getting really long. I'm almost there. So the way that I felt when I told my mother-in-law about all of this is that I almost felt a little bit of like she was putting some blame on me for the reason that we've been in such a bad place. I was talking to her about the issues that my soon-to-be ex-husband was having with my son, that he told me that he didn't love him and that he resents him. And that's just for a whole nother story. Sir, you are an adult. I am not responsible for raising you anymore. That actually was my mother-in-law's job. But I take being a mother very seriously. And my son is my priority number one always, and that will never change. So when she came in and made me feel like she was questioning of whether or not I should be putting my 11-year-old son over her 33-year-old son, it just didn't feel great to me. And that's what happened. Do I need to probably have a conversation with her about how that made me feel? Yeah, but ultimately, it is what it is. We are divorcing, we are separating, and my son is still going to be at the forefront, number one of my life, everywhere, all the time, every single day, and that's how I'm choosing to parent him. My husband told me that he doesn't love his stepson and that most of the time he doesn't even like him. And what do you know? Now we're getting divorced. Let's talk about parenting for one moment. My soon-to-be ex-husband and I have been together for over 10 years, and my son is 11 years old. So it's not that just a couple of years that my soon-to-be ex-husband has been around. He has seen first steps, first words, first day of kindergarten, first day of every single grade. He's seen big milestones. He's watched sporting games. He has watched this kid grow up. And my son is a really good kid. And I know that a lot of mothers say that, but I really mean it. My son has manners, please and thank you. He's very sweet. He never argues with me. He is so kind, so intelligent, and so emotionally mature. I will address people in the comments very briefly. I have some people that are saying, why would you marry someone when you knew they didn't love their kid? Oh my God, we didn't start there. Oh my gosh, we did not start there. I did not marry my husband knowing that he didn't love my son. This is a very recent issue. This is a conversation that we had on December 1st, our 10-year anniversary, when he told me that he really doesn't like my son and that he resents him for the fact that I put him first and that my son is priority to me above anything else. And you know what? That's okay, because that's never going to change. So on December 1st, when we had that conversation, that's when I knew I was done. Okay, that's when I knew I was finished. I'm like, I'm so gone. Like, you don't love this child that you have raised kind of for 10 years, this kid that you've seen grow up, this kid that is a direct reflection of me, because I have poured everything in my life into raising him properly. You're gonna tell me that you don't love him and that you want me to put you, a 33-year-old man, first over raising an 11-year-old boy? Absolutely not. So on our 10-year anniversary, I told him, I said, yeah, I'm done. You need help. You need to go to therapy. And he said, okay, Taylor, let's go to therapy. Like, let's try to figure this out. And I said, great. Okay. January is your month. You have to hire the therapist, book the appointment. You know my schedule with work. Just tell me when to be there and I will be there. But this is your time to shine. If you want to repair this, then you can do all of the things for therapy. Do you think he did any of that? Ladies, do you think he did any of that? No. Now, I realize that everyone does parenting differently. And I'm not saying that my way is the right way or the wrong way. I don't know that there really is like a hard line of right and wrong way of parenting. But my son is not my soon-to-be ex-husband's child. Now, if he were his child, that would be a different story. I would choose to put my husband first because it's a direct reflection of how a man and a wife should be, and it should be a good example. But because that's not the case, I am responsible for raising an 11-year-old boy to make sure that he turns out to be a decent human being. I'm responsible for giving him experiences. I'm responsible for taking care of him financially. I'm responsible for making sure that my child feels safe, secure, loved, and that he can come to me comfortably and talk to me about anything. That is my job. It is not my job to do that for a 33-year-old man. And contrary to popular belief, his happiness is not my responsibility. And anyone else, please listen. Ladies, gentlemen, everyone, your partner's happiness is their responsibility. The way that they feel about life and walk through life is a direct reflection of the work that they put in, what goes through their mind on a daily basis. And while you're there to support them as a partner, their happiness, general in life, is not your responsibility. My 11-year-old child is 100% my responsibility, and I'm going to take that to the grave. Like I believe that fully, entirely, wholeheartedly. So I will never put a man above my 11-year-old child. And the next person I find, not that I'm really even thinking about that at all, will understand that and will understand what I've been through, or I will not be with anyone else. Because ultimately, I feel like all I really need right now is my son. He needs me and I need him, and that's just kind of where I'm at.
Story time of how I got grounded for an entire year. And before I start this story, I'm just gonna go ahead and give like a little backstory of my life. So I was homeschooled from first grade and up. So I was already like, I didn't really have a lot of friends. I didn't do anything. Like I was always at home. I had maybe 2 friends. So also another thing, I was a really good kid growing up. Like I did not do anything wrong. I did exactly what my parents told me. The only times I got in trouble were for watching Disney because I wasn't allowed to because my parents said it was inappropriate. That's how crazy they were. Okay, so let's start. I was about 14 years old and I had 2 friends. And one of my friends, she was talking to all of these guys. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm so jealous. Like I want to be able to talk to guys because I'm 14. I'm boy crazy, you know? And I'm sheltered. I'm at home all the time and I don't have anybody to talk to. I'm like, I want to talk to guys. I want a boyfriend so bad. And she was like, oh, like I have a fake Instagram or whatever. And I was like, oh, I'm not allowed to have Instagram, but I have Snapchat. So I was like, I'm gonna make a fake Snapchat account. So I did. So I make this fake Snapchat account and I go through my quick add. I'm just adding every single guy I see. Like, and then I'm mass snapping all of them. I'm like, oh my God, this is so much fun. Like, and for a month, nothing went wrong. It was just like me snapping guys for fun. Like, it wasn't anything inappropriate, just like my face and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is fun. Like, cute guys are talking to me, you know? Then I get added to a random group chat. And mind you, when I'm going through quick add, I'm unadding everybody that's from the state that I'm from because I don't want anybody finding out about this account. And somehow, like, I had only added people from Illinois. And it was actually like one little small town in Illinois. I think it was Murfreesboro. But everybody that I was adding was from there. And I got added to a group chat and it was all these guys that went to the Murfreesboro High School. And they were like all my age and I was talking to all of them. It was so much fun. And like me, like I've never met anybody that talks like this or like does the things that they do. I'm like, oh my God, they're my age. They're acting like this. They're talking like this. I'm like, they're really cool. I'm going to keep talking to them, obviously. There's also a girl in this story and she's really important. Her name's Barbie. I met her in the group chat. Became best friends. Like I told her everything. I sent her everything. Yeah. Then I met this one specific guy that this is what made everything go downhill. I met this one guy. Let's call him Bob. And I was obsessed with this boy. I needed him to love me. And like I didn't even care that he was 300 miles away from me or 200 or whatever. Like I was in love with him. I snapped him all the time. And then like finally like we started talking and I was like, yes, like he's so cute. I need him. And then like we kind of started sending like little pictures to each other, you know, and like he would send me some back and it was fun and I loved it. I was like, yes. Still talking to like a lot of other guys from that same high school in that group chat. And they all knew like how much I'd liked this guy and they would all like send pictures of him like when he was like in class or whatever and I'd be like, oh yes, like that's my man right there. So basically December rolls around. I've had this Snapchat account since like July and like I've been talking to all of them. Like I've stayed friends with all of them. Me and Barbie are still best friends and I'm talking to Bob and he texts me and he's like, do you want to be my platonic girlfriend? And I was like, what's that mean? And he was like, oh, so basically we just like send pictures to each other and like, but we don't actually have a label. Like you're not actually my girlfriend. And I was like, my dumb self. I was like, why don't I just be your real girlfriend? And he was like, no, this is really awkward. No. And like, I'm freaking out. I'm dying inside. So I block him. And he ended up texting me and he's like, why'd you block me? And I was like, oh, because you always ignore me. Because he was like, his snap score would go up like 300 points a day. And like he would leave me undelivered. And that made me so mad. So I had him blocked for like pretty much the whole month of December after that whole thing. And then on New Year's, I sent him this long message. I was like, I'm done with you. Da 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 da. Like, don't ever contact me again. And trust, he did not contact me again. That man did not give a flying about me. So, and I've also turned 15 now. And I am mad. I'm like furious. I'm crying like all the time because I miss him so bad because he's my man. And so what do? He was on the football team. So I add all of his friends from the football team, including his best friend, his like little trio, and his older brother, who was way too old for me. Like, I think he was 19 or 20, and I think I lied about my age to him, but I just started snapping all of them. And like, his best friend, like, me and him started snapping a lot, and like, I started sending him little pictures, and like, he was sending me pictures, and like, it just got really bad, because I'm like just praying that this like comes back to like the guy Bob that I really liked. I'm like, oh, I hope he finds out about this, and then he gets so mad because he ruined my life. So then about a month later of me like snapping all of his friends, all of that, sending them all pictures, I met this one guy, and let's call him Carl, and he was also on the football team, and I met him through Bob's mutual friends, and he was in one of our group chats, and I started talking to him a lot, and I really started liking this guy. And at this point I'm starting to get over Bob, and I'm like, Carl, like, I love you. So finally, like, I think it was 2 weeks of us talking, and he finally asked me to be his girlfriend, and I was like, yes. So fast forward, me and Carl have been dating for about 3 months, and I posted him for our 3-month anniversary, and this would be a huge mistake that I didn't even realize. And now back to my best friend Barbie. Me and her are still best friends, and we're too close of friends. Like, we had a really weird sense of humor. We joked about really bad things, and like, we would also send like pictures. Like, before I would send my man a picture, I would send it to her first for approval, and like, she would do the same thing, like girl stuff, you know? So then the next day, after me and Carl's 3-month anniversary, I have tennis practice, and in the middle of tennis practice, my mom shows up, and she pulls me out of practice, and she's like, get in the car, we're going home early. She didn't act mad or anything, but apparently my IRL best friend, who was also really close friends with my mom, like my IRL best friend's mom was close with my mom, she had taken her phone and gone through her phone, and she saw the story of my boyfriend, Carl. My mom is very traditional. She's very, very Christian, and she doesn't believe in a lot of things, like, what's it called? Well, she thinks, like, white people should date white people. Like, that's the kind of stuff she believes. And Carl was black. Calls my mom and is like, you need to take Sway's phone right now. And I get home, and she takes my phone, and I am freaking out. I'm throwing up from how scared I am of how my mom is, because all she knew was about Carl, my boyfriend. But she took my phone, and she went through everything. She made me take a notebook and write down every single one of my passwords. And what's even worse is that she went through my blocked, and she added everybody that I had blocked back, including Bob. And he ended up, I don't know what happened with him, but I know that she went through those chats, and I know that it was not good. Then the most trouble I got in were for me and Barbie's chats, because we saved everything. Like, we were sending each other everything, anything. Like, I was sending her like all of my pictures. My mom saw all of that, and like, our jokes were really bad. Like, really bad. Like, talking about like people, and like, they were jokes, obviously. Like, I wasn't gonna do it. But yeah, then I got grounded for a whole year. I wasn't allowed to have computers. I was stuck in the house doing yard work, and my mom wouldn't let me go to public school. I was supposed to go to public school that year, but she would not let me. And then finally, when I got my phone back, she kept a watch on it, and like, she kept like the screen time thing, and she would look through my phone every single night. So those were my high school years. And I'm not even exaggerating how much trouble I got in. Like, she still brings it up to this day and holds it over my head. But thanks for watching, and don't make a fake Snapchat account, because you'll regret it so bad.
When I was still a dancer, there was one night where my old boss from 3 years before this happened came into the club. I was minding my business, standing next to the entrance of the club, when And this bald man walks up to me. He says, let's go over to my wife. We want to do a dance with you. As we were walking over to his wife, I was like, this guy seems really familiar. I didn't know why. As we're walking, he turns and says to me, be nice to my wife. She's kind of ugly. Obviously, I was taken aback. I was like, oh my goodness, and just kept pushing. We got to VIP. His wife was blasted drunk, and I could tell she had a ton of filler, Botox. Makes sense that you would feel self-conscious when you have a husband that speaks about you to random people like that. I can't imagine what he says to her in private. We're now with his wife. He's being gross. I just do an air dance, keep it pushing. Finally finish the dance, and I tell him that it was $70, and he hands me a $100 bill. And I say, would you like to leave a tip? And he said, no, 30. Just demanded exact change. I'm like, okay, well, I don't have any change for you, only have big bills. And mind you, he has party eyes this whole time, if you know what I mean. And this guy also would drive into that parking lot with his little Porsche. You know, this guy has money, but like whatever. He gets up and storms away to the bar so that he could get exact change for me, leaves his drunk wife behind. I'm having to like hold her up because she's stumbling and totally would have fallen if I didn't catch her. He just leaves her behind, doesn't care at all. When he came back to give me exact change, he was berating her for how she was acting. She was drunk. Like I would want to be drunk 24/7 if I had you as a husband. After that happened, I went upstairs to the dressing room to tell the house mom about what just happened and see if he was actually the person that I thought he was, because at this time it had been like at least 3 years since I worked there, and I only worked there 3 months. So I wasn't entirely sure, but looked up the practice. Lo and behold, that was the exact guy that was in here just now. And get this, I'm not going to say exactly what type of office it is, but it's something in the medical industry, I guess. They're constantly sending out these things in the mail where it's nice, happy family, the doctor and his wife, and their 2 or 3 kids, I think, would make you think that they have this happy family, this nice life at home. Total sham. I get on the website and I'm like, this is for sure him. I looked up his name to see what would come up. Dude literally has an entire website made about him from an angry patient. When I worked there, there were quite a few of those. Again, I can't say what the name of this place is because I don't want to get sued, but if you live in Port St. Lucie, maybe you know who I'm talking about. That place was the worst place I've ever worked. Super toxic. I only interacted with that guy a few times. It's a really giant place. A few times that I did, he was unpleasant. And that last interaction with him actually makes me worried about her, because if he's treating her like that, publicly berating her, shaming her, being nasty, leaving her behind to fall over, I can't even imagine how he's treating her at home. Moral of the story, don't marry for money, because that dude is loaded and his wife probably has a really nice car, nice clothes, nice life from an outside perspective, but the vibe was that he's her at home. You know what I mean? I hate to say that, and it's terrible, but that's what it seemed like. Another key takeaway of this story is to not compare your current relationship to someone else's. You genuinely have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. Looking at those little flyers that they would send out in the mail, you would think from an outside perspective that they're a super happy family, they love each other, but then seeing them up close and personal, I know that that's not the case. So as women this day and age, and especially in the industry that I was in, you compare yourself, you compare your relationship to another relationship where maybe the guy has a ton of money and the girl looks happy from the outside, nice designer bags, nice clothes, all of the things that we're told that we should want and like place above other things. And this is why I no longer think that you should really talk about your relationship much to other people, because they're going to get the picture of this person from only the things that you tell them. So their response is going to be only on those things that they've never experienced. They don't see this person as a full person like you do because you interact with them more. So they're going to give you advice based on that information when they don't know all the good things that your boyfriend is doing for you because you're only telling them the bad. And aside from it being my old boss, that story was not really an uncommon experience while working in that industry. I met so many millionaires that hated their wives, talked so much shit about them, just so mean to them. So if you take away anything from this video, marry for character, not for money.
I've been debating on if I want to share this story, but I feel like I need to because I wish I had seen this video 6 months ago. Also, please bear with me because my brain is still not firing on all cylinders, so I might repeat myself, I might stumble over my words, but just bear with me. Back in July, our Pizza Hut, the buffet was coming back, and during COVID, all the buffets closed down and all the Pizza Huts, so ours was opening back up where we live, and this was like a monumental moment for us, so that's why I remember it was July 26th. It was me, my husband, our 2 daughters. I was driving, pulled into the parking lot, and as I pulled in, the most terrifying thing happened to me. So I'm driving, pull into the parking lot, and I stop dead in my tracks. I have a memory that's either not mine or like I can't quite remember it, and it's just playing in my head, and it's like playing on a screen. I know it sounds strange, it's so hard to explain, but it was like an out-of-body experience. And afterwards, I just got super nervous. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to scare my husband or my kids. I didn't know what it was. Parked the car, went inside, ate, went on about our life. I kind of brushed this off because it didn't happen again until September. So the beginning of September, my mom got really sick and she passed away, and it was super traumatic. In my experience, I mean, I've seen all of my grandparents pass away. This was the most traumatizing way of dying that I have ever personally witnessed. So my mom passed away September 9th. Fast forward a couple weeks, I have another one of these memories. And this time I was like, okay, this is from all the trauma that I've experienced lately. It's just like my brain's way of bringing up maybe past memories to protect. I don't know. I tried to make it make sense. At this point, still hadn't told anyone, but like a week later, it happened again. This time I went to ChatGPT, I typed in all my symptoms, like my mom just passed away and I'm having these memories, but they're really not mine, or I don't know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And it pretty much confirmed what I had thought, that it was like a trauma response. Okay, so still I was like, okay, that's what it is, brushed it off. And then it started happening almost weekly. And at this point I started to get really freaked out. So I called my therapist. She was like 3 months booked out. So I finally went to my husband and I was like, hey, I started crying because I was like, this is so hard to explain. You're going to think that I'm crazy. Just try to hear me out. So I explained to him and he was like, you're right. I do not understand what it is, but I don't think you're crazy. We're going to get you some help. At this point, these memories were getting to where I was dreading them so bad. I was terrified to have them because my whole body would go numb afterwards. My heart would start racing. I would start sweating. I got super nauseous. Okay, so fast forward to New Year's Eve. I wake up that morning. I have a pounding headache. I can barely look at my phone screen. Everything just looks weird. Lights look weird. I was super nauseous. I ended up throwing up that night. I could barely drink water or anything that day. I was dehydrated. I just felt awful. So I went to sleep that night. It was the worst night of sleep I've ever had in my entire life. I was super restless. I kept waking up. I woke up twice in my sleep having these memories. It's the first time I had ever had them in the middle of the night, and it scared me to death because I woke up, my heart was pounding. I thought I was dying. The next thing I know, my husband is standing beside the bed, and I wake up and I'm sitting up, and I was like, how did I fall asleep sitting up? And he was like, you had a seizure. And I was like, no, I didn't. I've literally never had a seizure. I was so disoriented. I was so out of it. He said, I got up out of bed. I fell into the wall. I was trying to go to the bathroom. And he was like, hey, an ambulance is on the way. You were unconscious having a seizure for 8 minutes. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was just so confused. Next thing I know, I'm in the hospital. My husband said that when they got me into a wheelchair in the waiting room, my head fell back, my arms went limp, and I turned completely yellow. I was just sweating. Him and the nurses both thought that I was going to pass out. The nurses rushed out. They wheeled me back to a room, and then I guess they just started doing tests, running fluids in me, all the stuff. So my husband explains to them that I had been sick New Year's Eve, and they were like, has she been experiencing anything else? And he was like, actually, yes, now that you mention it, she's been having these episodes. And he tried to explain it to them, and they were like, okay, we need to run a CT. I never heard anything about the CT, so I'm assuming it was good, but they were like, you need to follow up with a neurologist. So my sister-in-law took me to the neurologist. My husband was held up at work, but he ended up meeting us there because I read that you're supposed to take whoever witnessed your seizure with you because they'll ask him questions. So they were asking him all kinds of questions about like what I was doing during and the movements and all of that stuff. And he was like, okay, you definitely had a seizure. And I was like, I also have to tell you about these odd episodes I've been experiencing. And I tried to explain it to him, and afterwards he said, does it feel like deja vu? And I was like, yes. And in that moment, I knew that whatever was going on before were like partial seizures. So there's a part of your brain. I'm not a doctor. This is just what I found from research. And also through all of this, I have discovered that my dad was diagnosed with epilepsy as a kid. His mom used to have seizures. Her dad used to have seizures. Several of her siblings used to have seizures. Not a doctor, but I'm assuming that I have epilepsy. And so I looked up like the different kinds, and I like typed in my symptoms, and then I typed in like seizure afterwards. And I believe, I don't know for sure, but I go February 6th for an MRI and an EEG, and hopefully this will confirm. But I believe that I have temporal lobe epilepsy because the temporal lobe is what controls your emotions. It controls memories. And so all of these like partial seizures that I've been having were happening in that part of my brain. This is just a PSA. If you start experiencing strange things like this, please do not brush it off. Please do not sweep it under the rug. Please go see a doctor or neurologist or something, because you will feel like you're going crazy, but really your brain is just crosswired somewhere. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but I will update y'all when I have more information.
Let me tell y'all the story time about how I had my sign to get my house in my main pulled up, and I didn't know what to do, so I left my own house. Mind you, I was just getting home from Puerto Rico, girls trip, so as soon as I come home, I'm going to be with a nigga. Now, me and my main dude at the time was like into it. Before I even went out of town, we had gotten into it. But I knew when he see me looking good, he was going to be on my line. Anyway, now my side dude, I really don't even want to call him my side dude because he really wasn't my side dude. I'm really not a cheater. It just was like a dude that I was messing with. Like, I wasn't leading him on. I'm just messing with him, period. And he really liked me or whatever, but I used to like give my main dude, which we weren't in a relationship either. This is just who I preferred. But I was giving all my main dude my time for real, so it kind of like blocked me out from being able to date with other dudes. Y'all get what I'm saying. Anyway, long story short, I got back from my trip, and as soon as I got back, I got a nickname him. We gonna call this dude Cancer because he was a Cancer, and we gonna call my other dude Pisces. So Cancer is the side dude, Pisces is the main dude. And if you know me, you know I love Pisces. Anyway, so long story short, Cancer like had messaged me, called me, whatever. Told me he wanted to see me when I got home with the woo. Mind you, my last day in Puerto Rico, Pisces had called my phone. Keep in mind, we probably hadn't talked in like 2 weeks prior to him calling my phone. Oh, you out of town? You looking good? Yeah, all that. Keep in mind, I was never ugly, just crazy. So he be needing a little break from me. But when he see me looking good, breaks get cut short. So anywho, Cancer texts me, he like, I want to see me with the wolf. Mind you, I ain't heard from Pisces since Puerto Rico. I'm in America now. I'm in Ohio now. Why you ain't ring my line? Because mind y'all, me and him, the way we set up, I'm not calling his phone. You got to call me. So boom, Cancer calling my phone though. Cancer calling, he ready to link. Mind y'all, I never really let him spend the night over my house or nothing. So he already let me know, like, can I spend the night? Like, I'm bringing my spend the night bag, da-da-da-da. He like, can I take a shower at your house? Like, so I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and be nice to Cancer this little one time. I'm looking good, like feeling good, whatever. So, I tell him it was cool to take a shower at my house, like bring everything. Like you can spend the night. All right. So he already let me know that he was gonna be like 2 hours, I think. And I ended up door dashing me some food. I think I had ordered me some Outback because I'm not about to wait on you to eat. I'm starving. I've been on the plane all day. So I ended up door dashing me some Outback, and he ended up calling me like, oh, well, I'm going to just come down with the whoop. So I was even irritated because I just door dashed myself some food, and you could have bought me some. So, boom, he on the way, my food on the way. So he get there before the food get there. And he come in, he like, I'm going to just take my shower now so we can chill with the whoop. So, I had him a towel, a rag, all that. Mind y'all, as I'm giving him his towel and a rag, my food pulls up. Like, so he's telling me, like, I'm going to wait till you get back in here from grabbing the food before I get in the shower. So y'all know I go outside, I grab my food, my dasher couldn't find the door or whatever, so it took me a little minute. He came outside to check on me. Y'all know as soon as he went in the house, Pisces called. So I answered Pisces ASAP. Like at this point, I don't even care about the door dasher or nothing. Y'all hung up on the dasher and answered Pisces. What up? So he like, what you doing? I'm like, nothing, chilling. Kid free, made it home safely. What you doing? Y'all know he said I'm finna pull up. So I'm like, wait, you about to pull up? He like, yeah, I'll be there in a minute. Mind y'all, my side dude's still in the house waiting for me to come back in with my food so he can take his shower. And the dasher still can't even find the door. So I hung up on him. I'm like, hold on, I'm gonna call you back. Let me get my door dash real quick. So I end up getting my food, end up going in the house. Once I came in, fucking Cancer. I'm forgetting these names. Cancer got in the shower, y'all. So once Cancer got in the shower, I called Pisces back. And I need an estimate on pulling up because either way it's going, no matter how this going tonight, y'all, I'm letting y'all know now. Cancer was getting out. Like, for Pisces, it was Pisces over everybody. So we get on the phone and I'm like, well, what's pulling up? Like what's pulling up? I'm about to go get us something to eat and I'm be on my way. Man, y'all, I just got some Outback delivered, but go get that food. I need some time. So he's like, what you want, some B-dubs? You know B-dubs is one of my faves. So I'm like, yo, give me this, da-da-da-da. Sent him on a wild goose chase. Mind you, he already let me know he's going to the B-dubs by my house, so I really don't have too long to get Cancer out of here. So time ticking, y'all. Time ticking. I'm so anxious. I can't even eat my food, y'all. I'm trying to let him take his shower, and then I didn't even have no excuse, so I can't even be like I was trying to let him take his shower because, no, I was trying to come up with an excuse. So when we in the shower, y'all, I can't even eat my food. Like, I'm just sitting there staring at the bag of Outback trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to get him out. So I'm sitting here trying to think of a master plan. Like, what am I about to do? He came all this way. Keep in mind, he lived 35 minutes away from me at the time. I felt so bad. I'm like, oh, my God, he came all this way. Like, he took his shower. He getting ready. Got his PJs and everything, y'all. I felt so bad. But over Pisces, we gonna do that. Mind you, Pisces don't give come over, pull up real quick, chill. No, that's my dude. Like, he's coming. He's moving back home. Like, this is what's going on. Like, you gotta go. So boom, I get a call from Pisces. I'm still sitting there trying to think of a master plan. Pisces called me. What you want to drink? Then and there, I knew he was looking up the food and he was 10 minutes away. I'm like, I gotta get this thing out. Talking about Cancer. Do y'all know I ran to the bathroom? I ran to the bathroom and started tugging on the shower curtain. Like, you gotta go, you gotta go. It's an emergency. Like, you gotta go, you gotta get out of here. So, y'all, he's scared as hell. Like, I gotta go. I'm leaving. Because I don't know what else to do. I'm not about to get caught up. Not by Pisces. I'm just like, I had a family emergency, y'all. So, mind you, I'm throwing my sweatpants on and everything in the bathroom with him. I'm like, you have to get out. I'm like, I'm leaving. Go out the back door. I'm about to leave. I'm about to lock the front door. Like, go out the back door. You gotta go. Mind y'all, I didn't even have no car. And he knew this. So, he like, okay, do you need me to take you somewhere? You need a ride? And I'm like, no, just go. So, y'all, I leave the house. I left the house. I left the fucking house. I don't have nowhere to go. So I'm running around my apartment complex, hiding behind cars, trying to look and see if he leaving the house, trying to wait on Pisces to pull up. I'm ducking behind my neighbor's bushes and everything, y'all. Like, I'm terrified because Pisces cannot see this dude in his house. So, y'all, the dude blowing me up, he really cared. He really, really cared. He blowing me up. He's like, what's going on? Where did you go? Da-da-da-da. I would have gave you a ride. Like, da-da-da-da. Man, y'all, I'm texting my friend on the sideline. Like, I'm trying to get advice. So she like, sis, bitch, he's not leaving your house. You should have put him out. Like, he is not about to leave. He about to be waiting in that bed for you to get back home. Like, you should have put him out. Like, man, y'all, at this point, I know for a fact I don't have time to go back to this house to try to get him out. So he keep calling me. Like, what is going on? Like, da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, just leave. Tell me why I see Pisces pull up. I'm hiding behind the bush. He rolled right past me. So I'm texting Cancer. I'm like, come on. Like, you got to get out. Like, you got to go. Just leave. Like, I'm good. Just leave. And I'm on the phone with my friend. She yelling at me. She even mad I left. Like, what is you doing? Next thing I know, Cancer called me. Did you order DoorDash? Because somebody at the door would be dubs. Yeah. I was about to kill him. At this point, he had to know something was up because I'm yelling in the phone at this point, like, don't open the door, just leave. Leave out the back door now. Boom, Pisces call me. So at this point, I'm not really knowing if they seen each other or not yet. Like, I got a peephole, so I'm guessing Cancer must have just looked at the peephole and then called me like it's somebody at the door would be Dubs. Man, y'all, you know I just ordered that Outback. You know I didn't order no DoorDash. Why would I be eating Outback and be Dubs? So boom, Pisces called me and he like, come on, what kind of weird shit is you on? You know I was on my way. Da 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 da. I said I'm walking back now. I'm over here doing my neighbor edges. Keep in mind, y'all, I still don't even know if Cancer left the house. Well, I'm walking as slow as I can back to my apartment because Cancer still got to pull off. Even if he did leave, he still have to drive past. And I'm hoping and praying that Pisces standing at my front door don't see Cancer walk around from the back and leaving his car. So y'all, I walked so slow back to my apartment. I hid behind the building and saw Cancer pull off. I walked up to Pisces and, you know, we ended up going in the house and having us a good night. I said, forget the Outback. That was the meal I was going to eat with the other nigga. I'm eating this B-dubs right here with him. And we had us a good night. And y'all, it's so crazy because Cancer was like texting and calling my phone all night while I was with Pisces, like blowing my phone up, trying to make sure everything was okay. Like he was genuinely worried and thought something was wrong. So I did feel bad the next day, but it is what it is. I was 19.
Rules my ex-boyfriend had for me. Let me know if these are like insane or like I think they're insane. But low-key, I listened to him and I respected him. Why? I don't know. Okay, number 1, he had to approve every single outfit I wore all the time. And going along with that, if I wanted to wear leggings, I had to have a shirt that covered my butt. I could not wear any top that would show any bit of my stomach. Even if it only showed my stomach when I like raised my arms, I couldn't wear it. I also could not wear any like tight shirts that accentuated anything, even the least bit. Like I couldn't wear any low cut tops, and by low cut I mean like here. He thought that if I was dressing like that, it was only for like male attention. He thought I dressed like a slut. Mind you, I was like 14. At one point, we had both deleted Instagram. I guess we just thought it was like toxic or whatever. And I wanted to re-download it and he would not let me. He did not want me having it unless he had it. But then eventually we both ended up re-downloading it. So then when we both had Instagram, if I wanted to make a post, I would have to send him every single picture I wanted to post, and he would like say, oh, I don't want you posting that one, or like, yeah. He just didn't like me posting in general and would usually say, you don't need to post that. Another thing is he didn't like when I would go hang out with my friends, and I feel like every single time I would hang out with somebody, he would come up with a reason to get mad at me, and then he would be like, we need to talk this out now, and he would come pick me up every time. He would not let me join the cheer team, and he said he would break up with me if I did. Fast forward, we broke up and I joined the cheer team. He made me stop wearing makeup, and he didn't like when I wear makeup because he just wanted me to be all natural, I guess. Same goes with dyeing my hair. He would not let me dye my hair. I wanted to do like pink peekaboo like underneath, and he told me he would break up with me if I did. He made me stop being friends with one of my best friends because he didn't like how I acted around her, but he used to have a crush on her. Okay, I think I'm gonna end with this one, but it's not really like a rule, it's just like something that happened. But obviously we had a very toxic relationship, and we were supposed to go on a trip to Colorado together, and the night before we were supposed to go on the trip, he told me he wasn't gonna go because he thought it would be the breaking point, and he would probably end up breaking up with me. I don't know why I didn't just break up with him there, but yeah. And when we broke up, I genuinely did not know who I was because so much of my life was given up for him. I'm making this video in case anybody else is going through something like this, and I know it's not fun, and I wish I would have gotten out of it sooner, but sometimes love really does just blind you.
Control your emotions. Discipline your mind.
Hi guys, get ready with me to spend the night at my boyfriend's house. I curled my hair, and I haven't brushed it out yet, but I will brush it out. And then I was just picking at my face, that's why it's really red, so ignore that. This is hypochlorous acid spray, so it should help with the redness. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. I'm actually really nervous to spend the night because I've never spent the night, and I don't do sleepovers. So you guys, I posted a video asking if I should stay the night, and it got more likes than I thought it would. Okay, like it's not like viral, but it has more likes than I thought it would. So, and a lot of you guys are asking for a story time, so here it is. So basically, he's actually not my boyfriend, but we dated over the summer, and then we broke up when school started because we live an hour and a half away, and with school and everything, life was just so busy. And I just didn't know if we would have this time to see each other, so I broke up with him. But I'm realizing now that was a dumb decision. So now we are hanging out again. And I'm actually, like, really happy about it. Well, obviously, I wouldn't do it if I wasn't happy about it, but like I said, I don't do sleepovers. So I'm, like, beyond nervous. Like, it's crazy. I'm so scared. But yeah, we live an hour and a half away from each other. So it's just like, today we're going to see Five Nights at Freddy's, the new movie, tonight, and then I would be getting back so late from the movie because I'm going to his town, and then we're going to a different town to watch the movie that has a nicer movie theater because we both live in like small towns. But so then we'd have to drive back from the movies, and I'd have to drive back from his town. So his mom was like, I don't want her driving home late at night. She's so sweet, I love her. So she was like, just offer her to stay the night. And I was like I'm scared, but when you think about it, it is really more convenient for me to stay the night. And then, oh, I also forgot to mention, tomorrow morning I'm going to watch him wrestle, and it's like near where he lives, so it just makes more sense to stay the night and then go with his family to watch him wrestle tomorrow morning instead of driving there tonight, watching the movie, driving home, and then driving back up there again, you know? And we both have like somewhat strict parents, so this is like crazy to think that I'm staying the night at my ex's house. And my parents want me to because they don't want me driving home late at night. And I really do not need to be nervous. Like, they are the sweetest family ever. He is the sweetest boy ever. I know they're gonna make me feel so welcomed. I just have a really bad anxiety, and I think the last time I've had a sleepover was in middle school, and I'm now a senior in high school. So like, this is just really, really out of my comfort zone. But plus all you guys told me to stay the night, and everybody was like, you only live once, like just take the chance, like. And then one of the comments was like, it'll help you get to know him better, and that's very true, so I'm gonna do it. I need to leave my house in like 30 minutes to get to his town, and I still haven't packed yet. I am genuinely so terrified. I've never been so scared in my life. Obviously that's a lie, but I'm so nervous. And I know it's literally just a sleepover, but when I tell you I don't do sleepovers, I don't do sleepovers. I like waking up in my own bed. I like being in my own bed. I like my mornings to myself. So this is like not my thing. My lashes are looking really weird. I have to have a good makeup day because, yeah. I'm gonna listen to some Christmas music to maybe hype me up because I'm so scared. Guys, I don't know anything about wrestling. Like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Like, I'm going to watch it with his family, and we're not even dating. Like, also, I'm hoping that he lets me wear one of his sweatshirts from, like one of his school sweatshirts, because what the heck am I supposed to wear to a wrestling tournament, bro? Don't want a lot for Christmas.
Friend, if I walk like this.
Story time on how I found out I was pregnant at 15. So this day, me and my friend, we went to the mall. This friend, we barely see each other. We're literally like neighbors, but she's been like one of my best friends since middle school, and we decided to link one day and go to the mall together. So we're at the mall. It's been like a good 3 hours. I'm like, I could be pregnant. I had missed my period that month. I had missed my period in July. So it was about a week after I was supposed to have my period. I missed it. I didn't think like much of it because I had missed my period early on in the year in like February, so I wasn't worried about it. But still, there's a possibility I was pregnant, so I was like, I could be pregnant. And I took this, and then we went across the street to the dollar store and we got a test. we walk back to the mall, to the bathroom, and I take the test, and nothing comes up. No negative, no positive, nothing. And I've done tests before, like, I've done this type of test. Something always shows up, and nothing showed up. So I was like, weird, but it doesn't say positive. And when you're pregnant, it always says positive, like, no questioning it. So I was just like, okay. I don't think much of it for, like, the next few weeks. I don't think much of it, but then I get these weird fucking cramps. Also, I told my mom, like, I miss my period. Like, I'm very open with her. I told my mom I miss my period, but, like, I didn't think I was pregnant. Like, I was like, I don't think I'm pregnant. Like, there's no way. Like, I don't think so. But I told her, and then like I said, I was getting these weird fucking cramps. They were, like, 10 to 30 second long, like, period cramp kind of feel. So I was like, something's not right. So a few days later, me and my boyfriend go to Walmart at like 10:30, and we get some tests. We get the pack of 2 because we don't want to test one and be like a faint line type of situation. So we sleep on call. Next morning I wake up, I end the call because I want to do it alone because I get really anxious, and so I just didn't want to. I didn't want him there. Like, I was scared. I wanted to do it by myself because I was under so much stress. I'm really thinking, like, it's negative, but in the back of my head, I'm like, girl, you're pregnant. So I take the test. I turn on the shower. I, like, leave the test upside down because I don't want to see it. I'm waiting the full 2 minutes. And I call my boyfriend. I show him the test. It's positive. We're, like, freaking out. But I already knew, like, if I was pregnant, I wanted to keep it because I had told myself since I was, like, 13, if I ever got pregnant, I was keeping it, and abortion was not an option. So, yeah. If y'all want to know how I told my parents, that's another story, and I can do that for you, too. Also, we, like, did the math, and we put it in, like, immediately he got, like, the baby app, like, the tracking in, like, weeks and stuff, and it says, like, to estimate, like, your due date, you put in your last missed period. And it said that I was, like, I think I was, like 5 weeks or something. So, like, yes, it's early, but it was not early. Like, I had been pregnant for over a month. So, because I found out in August, and I missed my period in July. So,